And go.
I talked to a student recently at one of our woke college campuses who said she is required in every class to introduce herself and to give her pronouns. Well, I'm Ted Cruz, and my pronoun is kiss my ass.
Well, I say kiss my ass. I would say that a lot more. Well, guess what? Ted Cruz, Senator Cruz. Shit, I need more light in here. There we go. Let's see. Ted Cruz, guess what? A man decided to chuck an unopened beer can at Ted Cruz. Hit him in the neck and the chest. Charges are dropped. Charges are dropped. Okay, let's see. A U.S. senator, you know who he is, and you chuck a fucking beer can at him, and charges are dropped. How improbable does this seem, right? Oh, no. Well, he's a Republican, so it's fine. But, and get this is a literal but. If you're the guy that defended the other people who were having a gun pointed at their heads, even though it turned out to be a BB gun, they didn't know it. The guy who fatally shot the robber in Houston, he's going to face the grand jury. The grand jury is going to decide if they want to convict him. Now, a little more information has come out about this. Not only did he drop the guy, I guess he fired 8 shots, including a double cap to the back of the head to make sure he quit moving. Yeah, they're probably going to, and I don't agree with this. I just think he finished the fucking job. Folks, what's crazy is self-defense isn't pretty. It's not. Self-defense is not pretty. And I'm going to answer a couple of objections to this discussion right here, right now. So it's okay for cops to shoot a dog, no matter how small they are, 1, 2, 3, 5 times, because the dog was threatening to bite them. Now, a dog bite is not deadly unless they bite you in the neck and rip your jugular out. But cops can shoot dogs if they feel like they're going to be bit, and that's threatening. But a human being pointing a would-be murder weapon right in your face, that's not good enough, right? You're not allowed to shoot him several times until you're absolutely certain he's dead. And so that's what this guy did. He shot him enough times so that he was absolutely certain he was dead. Now, it's important to note that the district attorney in Houston that is pushing for the grand jury to do something is George Soros funded. So yes, District Attorney Ogg. Talk about a Neanderthal type sounding name. Jiminy Crickets. A George Soros funded idiot wants a grand jury to go after him. Now, I read a lot of opinions coming from regular folks like you and me. And the foreign ones, non-Americans, were like, well, geez, I don't think that's right. And because a lot of people are hailing this guy as a hero. And they're like, a hero would shoot to wound and that'd be it. Now, there's 2 ways to look at shooting to wound. And I understand. I think, it used to be you shoot him in the leg or shoot him in the arm, and the person would be like, fuck, I'm hit and this hurts and I'm going to fall down. Now people are like, fuck it, I'm going out and taking everyone with me now because I'm injured. The thinking's kind of changed, right? The person who shot, the bad guy who shot laying on the ground is kind of a wounded tiger. They become more dangerous. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Are you prepared? Literally, I had a great conversation on Prepper Coach last night. I love it when you guys do that because I get a lot of interesting questions that people don't ask right here. And we should be asking questions. So get your questions in right now. Get them down below in the comment section. Jolene will get them. Uman will get them. We're going to do a monologue and then your Q&A, folks. And I want to thank Mr. T once again for getting me all these great intros, outros, transition pieces. And they work just like this. Let's take a wild fucking guess. That's right. It's time to play my favorite fucking game. Let's take a wild guess. In the state of Ohio, an American, a young American man, died suddenly. Suddenly died. That's one of the most popular ways to die these days. Cardiac arrest. How young do you say? 17 years old, folks. He was in school. He was in high school. 17-year-old just fucking dies of a heart attack. Take a wild guess. Unbelievable. It's continuing, folks. Now, many of you know I've been dealing with a little cold the last few days. Even Uman said, John, you sound like shit. I was like, thanks, man. I needed that. Well, I'll tell you what. You don't know it sounds like shit. The direction this country's going in. So we're looking at Brazil, watching what's going on down there. Just watching, folks. And I've got some information about that for you, right? There's some problems down there. But before we get there, we've got problems up here in America. And there's one thing I've noticed as of late. There's been something going on. And that would be Marines. For some fucking reason, there are a lot more anchor, globe, and eagles on the back windows, back bumpers, tailgates, license plates, T-shirts, hats. I've been seeing the Marines really start to express themselves a whole lot more. So I was filling up with fuel, and another one was filling up with fuel. I saw what he had on his window. I looked at him. He looked at me. I said, Semper Fi. He said, you served? I said, yeah. And we both walked over, shook each other's hands, nodded, and walked back, finished fueling our vehicles, and left. People are really aware and pissed off. And we all know, folks, whether you pay attention to the news or not, you just know when shit ain't right. Well, down in Brazil, folks, I've been telling you what's going to happen to those people down there, and it ain't right. It's not. What's next in SHTF? Let's take a look at Brazil. 1,700, that is 1,700 people, protesters, are being held in a concentration camp. The president, who's a communist, his name is Lula. He's a convicted felon. He's a criminal, folks, went to prison, and now he's their president. Yeah, he's got a concentration camp. At least 2 people are dead there. 1,700, folks. It has begun down in Brazil. And I know exactly where this is going. I don't know how long this is going to continue in America before those who know what the hell is going on decide to do something about it. Now, I don't glamorize anything. I don't glorify it. I don't antagonize and try to get people to commit insurrection. But I have a funny feeling that at some point, something is going to happen, right? How does this work, right? Something's got to give. But Lula is rounding up people and putting them in prisons, just like Hitler did. Just like it. Now, government is supposed to be on our side, right? Government is supposed to be working for us, the people. Well, understand this, folks. When government is immoral, we know it. So Lula's arresting people, 1,700, 2 are dead already. Not good, right? Well, how about this in America, the United States of America, in the state of Oregon, the government of Oregon is advising schools to keep students, their gender identity hidden from their parents, hidden from their families. Folks, the government in America is committing acts of war and what I would call moral atrocity against the family and against decency. I thought government was supposed to protect our rights. That would be tax-paying adults, parents. Children don't have rights the way parents do, the way adults do. The government is supposed to protect everyone's rights and protect the children and notify the parents, right? Parents are supposed to make decisions for their children who are minors or incompetent to make adult decisions. Instead, the government is a bunch of liars. And I just wanted to bring that up. I don't want anyone saying, yeah, government does a great job. Yeah, my ass. My ass. Where are we heading? We're heading to hell in a handbasket. World War III. Have I not said that? Guess what Sweden has done? While they're waiting, folks, while Sweden waits to be accepted into NATO and other countries don't want them in there, while Sweden is waiting to get into World War III, I mean NATO. I love making stupid mistakes. Guess what they've done? They've reactivated civil conscription. What that means is mandatory military service. They're doing this in response to the war between Russia and Ukraine. See, this is one more step. Now, folks, war is a process. Now, people go, well, wait a minute, when Japan hit us in Pearl Harbor, it was instant war. Folks, war had already been declared in Europe, and World War was already started long before Pearl Harbor. Japan did not bomb Pearl Harbor and then start taking Iwo Jima and the Truk Islands and the Solomon Islands and Palau and Micronesia. No, they were taking those islands long before they got to Pearl Harbor. So the war was started in the Pacific before we became part of it. There were acts of aggression, right? Armies were being prepared before they go to war with each other. Well, how does that work? Let's see. The intelligent mind says, yeah, you can't send your army to war if you don't have an army in place. So you get an army in place and then you send it to war. Sweden is activating its civil conscription. That is mandatory military service. They better do that before the war comes. Otherwise, you don't have trained troops, right? And who are they going to send? Well, every country throughout history has always sent its youngest men. Yeah, I'm sure in Sweden, since most of them are a bunch of socialist ninnies, I'm sure they're going to all cut their dicks off and claim to be women, right? Twist their little hair into little pigtails. I'm a girl. What happened to my people, the Vikings? Down here in the South. Down here in the South is funny. People call me a Viking down here. In California, there were where I lived in California, it was occupied by a lot of tall Germanic and Scandinavian types, and I was still bigger than most, but it was more common to see someone who looked like me. Down here in the South, it's not so common. They're like, you're a Viking. And I'm like, that's right, motherfucker. Read your Constitution. Like, you're a teacher? I'm like, yes, read your Constitution. Anyway, speaking of reading, and get your comments down below. Speaking of reading, actor, writer, Kurt Cameron, the guy who was writing these faith-based books for children. Oh my God, What an asshole, huh? Who the hell writes faith-based moral books teaching kids to be good and responsible and they'll be rewarded? Who the hell wants that shit? We want drag queens and how to give BJs for kids, right? When I said that, you're like, what a, no. Folks, I really don't want that. But that is what the political left is doing. So Kirk Cameron decides to respond by writing real books for children, to teach them to be good, to respect themselves and others. Anyways, Kirk Cameron is an actor and he's a writer, and he is basically doing what he's doing in response to parents who are coming out and saying they're bullied, right? And so Kirk Cameron is going to take his books and go and do more public library reading. I wanted to give you a good story, folks, while we're in SHTF here. Right? He's going to be traveling to a bunch of public libraries to take his messages of freedom and family and faith. Freedom, family, faith, right? And the love of America. He's going to take it on the road because people have had it and they want some pushback against the woke culture. So Cameron told Fox News, he says, I'm hitting the road. I'm going out to speak. So if you get a chance to support this, folks, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. Prior to the protests of January 6th, I was telling people, go to protests. You'll feel American for doing it. And then we had January 6th where, well, if you go to a protest, you're going to be fucking arrested. It's unbelievable what's happening in America. Are you prepared? Now, this is a big, big, big piece of news. Are you aware that Matt Gaetz, now, once again, all politicians will disappoint you, right, Uman? Right, Uman? Microphone's off. Yes, they will all disappoint you. The point you made yesterday. And you're not saying a fucking word.
Did he follow through and quit?
No, he did not follow through and quit, but he did change his vote, right? So disappointed. All politicians will disappoint us, but will all politicians completely roll over, turn over, and commit treason and betray us? That's the part that we have to work on, I guess.
Yeah, well, I understand the difference there, and I'd say at least half of them already have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got a big problem. But anyways, Matt Gaetz is going to try and redeem himself. So I'll let you go, man. And thank you again for all you do behind the scenes, swinging that big blue wrench, brother.
Hey, happy to do it.
Okay. So Matt Gaetz, he reveals that the Republican Party is going to release the 14,000 hours of January 6th surveillance and security tapes that Nancy Pelosi, Shifty Shithead Schiff, and other Democrats have been hiding. And that includes No Nads, Nadler, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Matt Gaetz is doing what he can now to redeem himself. I don't think he did a horrible job. Yeah, I'm disappointed. I would have been happier if he had lost his shit and started wailing and pummeling on people, like a free-for-all in Congress. They got close. There was almost some violence, Republican on Rhino violence, but it didn't happen. And I'm not glamorizing or glorifying it, folks. I'm just saying it would have been entertainment. It would have looked like the Jerry Springer show. Anyways, another Republican, Rhino, decided that he's going to do something. And I say, good. And you have 1 million more miles to go, asshole. And I'm speaking about the Speaker, McCarthy. He is making a move. Is he going to follow through? He's hinting and getting to the point where he might do something. Well, shit or get off the pot, McCarthy. Eric Swallowswell, yeah, the guy who slept with the Chinese spy, and Adam Shifty Schiff, after Shifty Shithead, and Ilhan Omar. That's right, the Democrat who married her brother to get him into this country from whatever shithole she came from. The anti-Semitic, anti-Israel, anti-America, anti-intelligent Ilhan Omar, Adam Schiff, and Eric Swalwell. Anyways, McCarthy wants to get them out of their congressional committees. Well, do it, man. What are you waiting for, you fucking knucklehead? But they're trying, folks. They seem to be doing something. They're seeming to be doing something. But, right when you think we're getting some momentum on the Republicans doing something, this happens. When I played rugby for the Marine Corps, we would have a practice and they'd take me to the hospital. And then when we have a game, afterwards they take me to the hospital. And then, on the weekend, if I went and took a crap, well, that was so vigorous that I would have to be taken to the hospital. And I made all that shit up. That's bullshit, right? But in Chicago, folks, 5 college basketball players had a rigorous workout. And they were reportedly hospitalized. Since when does this happen? You don't get to the NBA. You don't get to the show. You don't get to the big time by playing basketball and then going to the fucking hospital, right? A lot of these kids who think they're going to make it into the big leagues, they'll do anything. They'll play their hearts out. They got to be, they got to get to the top. So kids are now dying of fucking heart attacks, passing out and going to the hospital, just trying to play a game that's a game. Oh, yeah, no, we're not done, folks. We're not done at all. I mean, take a fucking wild guess. A woman is in the Bahamas and she died suddenly. Guess how old she was? Take a wild fucking guess. What do you say, oh man? How old is this broad? He's giving me hand signals and shit. 18. An 18-year-old woman died suddenly playing basketball. Suddenly, basketball sounds like a fucking full contact sport. Unbelievable. How many people playing basketball? I mean, is football season over? Are we done killing NFL players yet with the Jim Jones juice? Boy, I tell you, there is no end to all the shit that I could talk about. Now, let's switch gears again, folks. It was asked to me, okay, John, what next? I'll tell you what next. FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried, fraud, and frode. That fucking dude. The curly-haired nut screw job that stole what? $50 billion? I bet it was more like $150 billion. All of these fucking millennial kids throwing their money into this crypto shit. That's a lot of money to be throwing in there, folks. People who are aged, 25 to 45? That's a big sector of people who are working. They're just throwing money at that shit. And they're like, hey, put it in there. It's a win. Well, that's a lot of billions. Guess what this fucking clown was doing and spending it on? FTX. Curly-haired geek's girlfriend who looked like nerd extraordinaire. Apparently some kind of gangbang queen too. And I ain't joking, folks. These people... Well, I might be choking. That's pretty disgusting. Anyways, guess how much the king and queen of FTX spent on hotels, catering, flights? Are you ready? $40 fucking million on hotels, catering, and flights. Folks, my entire life, I won't have access to $40 million. Unbelievable. And am I making this shit up? Is this someone who leaked information? No, folks. Bankruptcy documents. This is serious fraud. This fraud is so huge that it's congressional quality fraud. I mean, Pelosi, 90 proof now that she's not Speaker of the House, I bet she's going to apply for the position at FTX to be the CEO. I mean, no one would question what that bitch spends, right? Hey, Nancy, you want to go to Ukraine and check on your investments over there? Go ahead and fly. America will pay for it. Hey, Nancy, you want to check on your investments in Taiwan? Go ahead and fly over there. Don't forget to bring your son so he can sign documents on your behalf. Unfucking believable. How you loving the satire today, folks? I tell you, chance favors the prepared mind. Wow. Now, speaking of fraud, speaking of lying, Biden, Gigi Biden, fuck Joe Brandon Biden, has claimed, right? He claimed this back in 2018, quote, I don't have access to classified information. Well, apparently top secret documents on Ukraine were illegally stored in his private office. Hey, isn't lying about classified documents an impeachable offense? Wasn't shifty shithead Schiff trying to impeach Trump after he left the White House? Wasn't he trying? He was like, we're going to impeach Trump even after he leaves the White House because he's so bad. McCarthy, where the fuck are you, pal? I don't care if the Senate has votes or not, right? Impeach this motherfucker. He is really, I mean, unbelievable. Oh, unbelievable. Now, again, in defense of the Republicans who now have some authority in the House of Representatives, the Oversight Committee chairman says, quote, we're not investigating Hunter Biden, we're investigating Joe Biden. I don't want investigations. Listen to me, Sonny Dem. The investigation is already done. Joe committed treason. Now do something. Now get it done. I don't know why there isn't somebody showing up with some pretty shiny bracelets to put them on his wrists. He abandoned American citizens in Afghanistan while the enemy was stealing $85 billion in military equipment or just taking control of it because it was abandoned. Our allies were abandoned. Our allies' civilians that were there were abandoned. Our military was killed. Marines and soldiers killed because of this abandonment, and the Biden administration didn't do anything to protect them. They knew that there was a bomber coming. Don't just do something, do it now. Unbelievable, folks. They're trying. Yeah, they want to investigate. No investigation needed. The information is done. It's out there. It's been gathered. We have it. Now get this, right? Trump says Adam Schiff, quote, should be prosecuted for the damage he has done to our country. So, okay, McCarthy, Trump, for what it's worth, backed your dumb ass as Speaker of the House. And he got roundly and soundly criticized for it. So, McCarthy, are you going to clean up the House and get rid of these fucking traitors? I sure hope so. But, folks, if I held my breath while waiting for McCarthy to do his job, I'd turn all funny shades and colors of blue, purple, and black. And it wouldn't be pretty. It wouldn't. No, no, no. This show is going to roll, folks. We're going to keep rolling. Where are we at? Holy shit, we're coming up on 30 minutes already. I hope you're ready for more. I hope you've got your questions in. Woo! I really hope so. Folks, you want some questions? Here we go. Ask some questions to yourself, right? What's next in SHTF? Elon Musk. The authoritarian, totalitarian, anti-American, left-wing ding-dogs are going after Musk again. Why? Because he fired more Twitter staff down in Brazil. So he cancels them like a fucking stamp. But why? Well, these Brazilian Twitter staff don't remember, or don't forget, I should say, the mainstream media says, don't you remember, we'll think for you. They canceled anti-communist protesters down there. So Elon Musk is firing them. Good. Good. Wow. Wow. Okay, let's do this. We're at the half-hour mark. That means it's your turn. It is, folks, the afternoon broadcast where we do monologue and now Q and A.
Are you ready?
Wow, there's no end to the amount of shit that's going on. I mean, tell me about it. Of course, all of us Americans, we're the real threat out here, aren't we? I mean, just ask Joe Biden.
Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history.
Who are the MAGA crowd, the Make America Great Again crowd? You see, isn't MAGA an idea? Kind of like Antifa. Isn't Antifa just an idea? It's not an organization with a tightly knit, well hidden, but wide open, available to everybody communication system. You see, no one's in charge. And every one of them authorized themselves to act as terrorists. Antifa. But Make America Great Again is a slogan, unlike Antifa, which is an organization. Still, here we are. All righty, Jolene. It is the Q and the A. Who do we want to bring up first? Wow. Who's this Uman guy? None other than Uman says Jim Jordan is now going to head a select subcommittee on weaponization of the federal government. My gut tells me nothing will come of it, so not getting too excited, but I hope I'm wrong. I'll tell you what. When Obama was president, he fucked up and we ended up with a Republican Congress. They didn't do anything to fix the problems. Trump had a Republican Congress, fucked up and didn't do anything to fix the problems. Have the Republicans learned? Right? I talk about former congressmen who talked a big fucking game and then they backed out, they quit, they sucked, they went away. People like Trey Gowdy, who was stupid enough to stick his fucking foot in his mouth in front of the world again so I can pick on him for being a nitwit with a bad haircut. Right, another one of these big mouth lawyers that talks a bunch of trash but really doesn't do anything because he doesn't have a spine or he's for sale. So Jim Jordan, I consider Jim Jordan a tough guy. He looks like the kind of guy that takes his fucking jacket off and rolls his sleeves up and gets into shit. Well, he actually does that in Congress. But I don't want Jim Jordan to bark. I don't want Jim Jordan to run around in the yard on a fucking leash. I want Jim Jordan to be given some big choppers, some big metal teeth to go bite the asses of bad guys, right? Real political power. None of this investigation, a select subcommittee. I think I saw that on the day old bread rack down at the fucking store. That's where I saw some select subcommittee for sale. The day old bread rack. I want some real action here. So like Uman, I'm thinking nothing's going to come of it. Now, I hope I'm wrong. But folks, put hope in one hand and a big pile of steaming bullshit in the other. And see which one you're going to have to deal with. See which one makes difference in your life. Right? You can take that hope and do that and no problem. Take a handful of bullshit and you put it on your head, you're going to have a fucking mess that you got to deal with. I like the hope. But for the most part, Congress is nothing but bullshit. Still, that said, I want them up in D.C. fighting. I want them fighting the socialists. I want them fighting the fucking rhinos. I want them exposing the rhinos as much as anyone else. Because we've got to clean house. We've got to clean house. All right. Wow. That was a good topic. Thank you, Uman. And Uman, you know that I will commend anyone that does something right, and I'll fucking criticize them if they do something wrong, including myself. No one is more critical of me except my ex-wife. Oh, I'm funny. Right, McCarthy, he's making a move to remove Swallows Well. He's making a move. I mean, I used to make moves in basketball that put people to sleep. They were that bad. I mean, make a move, fucking do it. Right? I'm not going to give, if fucking McCarthy throws him out of those committees, good. Still not my friend. And I still don't think he's a good guy. He's got 1,000,000 miles to go, but I'll commend him every time he does something right. Good job, McCarthy. You've only got 1,000,000 miles to go, motherfucker. Now get off your knees and start running, because it's going to be a while before anyone gives a shit about you for real. All right, Jolene, let's move on. What do we got? We have, drum roll, Orlando. And he says, thank you for answering my question yesterday, as I'm already prepared for any eventuality. But a warning to all. Beware of false preppers. Continuing, Orlando continues. He says, this thought has bothered me some. They gain your trust, get you to get stuff they say you need, and find a way to get close to you. When the time comes, they know who to target for survival. Not all preppers are honest and good as the rest of us. Do you agree? Orlando, the answer is 100% yes. So I was in a prepper coach session a while back, and this same topic came up. Once again, I protect the privacy of other people, but this topic does come up. What do you do about people? What do you do about people that you're not too sure about? You try and help family, you try and help friends, you try and tell people, wake up, get prepared. And what happens, right, when they tell you, well, are you prepared? And you're supposed to answer them and tell them what you got. And then they say things like, well, hell, I'll just come to your house when shit hits the fan really bad. And my answer to that has been, don't you fucking dare. You've been warned. If you believe that there's enough credibility in the message, get prepared. If you believe there's enough credibility in that message that you would say, well, I'll just come to your house, well, then you should know better. And relying on me or anyone else is just flat out wrong. And I have, folks, over the years, talked to people who said, well, shit, man, when things go bad, I'm just going to go fuck people up and take their shit. I'm like, okay, so you consider the possibility that that could happen, that things could go really bad and you're not prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. You're not prepared. You're just going to go after other people. You're just going to get guns so you can use those guns to steal other people's property. You're not part of the solution. You're part of the fucking problem. Right? You are part of the problem, knowing there's others out there helping. So, as a prepper, whether you are a lone wolf, small group, large group, realize now, folks, if things are good, and things are good, right? Eggs may be $12 fucking a dozen, but they're still available. Paid $4 a gallon for fuel today. Ouch. Right? But it's still available. And people think like this now. While things are available and things are pretty good, shit has hit the fan, but things are pretty good. It's SHTF light, Jim Jones juice, communists in control, World War started. Yeah, things are fucking hitting the fan. And these people are saying now, well, I'll just go fuck other people up and take their stuff. Imagine what they'll do when things really get bad. They'll go, oh shit, I told John a couple years ago I was going to fuck people up and take their shit. Now I've got no choice. That's what I'm left with, because I don't have food, I don't have water, I don't have shelter, I don't have any of this stuff. I'm going to go start. I have to go. They become dangerous. After a couple of days, you get really hungry. If you drink bad water, you get sick. So being sick, weak, and hungry, not to mention scared out of your mind because you don't know where your next meal is coming, what choice does that person have in their head? They will become our worst nightmares. That's why I say, hey, Let's watch what's going on in Moscow and Europe and Washington, D.C. Let's watch what's going on in our state capital. But it's that spot you live in and the 10-mile radius around it that is our real concern. That's where the rubber meets the fucking road, or rather, the front door, right, is visible from the road. Who were the problems during the summer of love when those mostly peaceful arsonists, those mostly peaceful assault addicts, right, the burners, looters, and murderers, they're walking down the street, walking through people's neighborhoods, waking them up with bullhorns, throwing shit at their houses, vandalizing their cars, starting fights, picking on people, antagonizing the world. Right out at the end of your driveway, at the end of your walkway. When shit hits the fan, those are the people. And yeah, people may pretend to be preppers, as Orlando suggests, just to find out what do you know? They may say, yeah, this prepping thing's a good idea. What do you got? Well, I tell people, I got a 12 gauge. I can't fucking miss with that thing. Right? It shoots 9 .35 caliber pellets at one time. It'll fuck you up. Shoot through a car door. That's what I got. Oh, geez, John, you didn't have to say it like that. Well, I felt it was important for you to know what I'm capable of doing with one squeeze of the trigger when someone pisses me off and things are really bad. Okay, man, you can chill out, John. Right. Anyways, let's move on. Jolene, what do we have next? I don't even know how many questions we got today. I didn't check in. I better check in. Yeah, where are we at? Here we are. Okay. I run this show, folks, off of a computer, a kind of a, well, it's a very old, I think it's a Samsung pad of some sort and a phone, right? And we talk, you and I, the whole world is here right now. Metalhead says, John, have you heard the World Elite Fudge Packers? Oh, that's fucking gorgeous, man. World Elite Fudge Packers. That's the WEF, the World Economic Forum. Dude, you win it for the day. I thought I was the insult king. That wins it. The World Elite Fudge Packers are planning another virus for 2025. How can we stop these rainbow-loving, butt-plug-wearing terror groups? Dude, you're on a fucking roll. I am sure they are already making new butt juices for the public to inject. Oh, what he's referring to there, folks, is the monkeypox. Or the butt pox, if you will. Monkey butt. I'll tell you what. I'm expecting another pandemic this year. I don't think they're going to wait till 2025. My prediction, November of 2020, we had an election, a presidential election. That spring prior is when they hit us with the pandemic. Did they not? My guess is we're going to have a pandemic 2024. How convenient would that be to disrupt life, to make everyone very upset, very pissed off, very scared, etc.? I mean, it may take 25. They may do it in 2023. And yes, right now it's 2023. And I'm going to say that's unfucking believable. I remember, folks, it was the spring of 2020. I broke out that last cigar, that Byron. Oh, man, that thing was delicious. Broke out the scotch. I lit the cigar, and I sat down with you guys. I said, that's it. Shit has hit the fan. They pulled the trigger on us. They're coming for us all. This is their statement. This is their opening salvo. War is now officially been enacted, not just declared, with the pandemic, with cerveza bug. And since then, what have we gotten? That's right, the butt plug monkeys, the World Economic Fudge Packers, the Davos douches, right? The Illumina snotty. I'll take that ball and run with it, man. Lateral to me. Yeah, it's coming. I have no doubts they're going to need. They played it really well, except here's the one twist I'm going to put on it, Meathead. It was Meathead, right, Jolene? Is it Meathead? Oh, Metalhead. For some reason, I got the movie Meatballs in my head where they had a alien, like an ET alien, and they named it Meathead. Because this one guy goes, me, Ted. And the alien goes, and they go, what's your name? He goes, me, Ted. And they called him Meathead. Anyways, these fucking meatheads. They can't just do a pandemic that doesn't kill. The next one they do is going to have to really kill a lot of people. Like bad. Not 0.0018% or 0.018%. I have a lot of serious misgivings about even the numbers they tried telling us. I think anyone who fell over and keeled over, they were blaming it on cerveza bug just to make the numbers look more serious. But here's my thought, is the next time they do that, the next time they cry wolf, there's going to be a fucking wolf biting your ass. The next pandemic, people are really going to die. Get ready for that, folks. Understand it up here. And I'll tell you how it's going to happen. I've had a cold for, going on 28 hours now. And I've taken a lot of my ascorbyl palmitate, vitamin C. I've taken a lot of zinc, a lot of magnesium, a lot of vitamins. And basically, I've kicked the shit out of it. Right? Just a few lingering symptoms. We'll see if I can shake it all. No problem. I am a non-juicinated person. I am willing to bet every single person who has gotten the Jim Jones juice and any number of juice boosters, they're going to be in deep, deep shit in the next pandemic. Because we already know scientifically they have weakened immune systems. Have you heard enough of the information? Have you seen enough of the data out there? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a problem. People getting sick. People who are dying from cerveza bug round 2, the one that's out there still, they're the ones who are juicinated. What was it? England said it was 87% of the people dying are those who have been Jim Jones juicinated, and 80% of the people who are hospitalized. Those are some pretty important numbers. Anyways, look out. It's coming. They are going to put the hurt on us all. I guarantee it. I don't have to guarantee it. I could say hide and watch, right? And that might be a real good idea, or you can just fucking face the facts. Go get your own facts. Don't rely on me. Get your own. Okay, Jolene, who is next? As we rifle through all this crap, it is none other than our friend Vincent Boyle, our brother from another mother across the ocean. He says, they are pushing the masks again here in the UK, Great Britain. That's right. Vincent Boyle, I believe, is in Ireland, the Emerald Isle. And they're pushing the masks, the bullshit masks. Right. Look out. Look out, those masks. I just... Put a fucking diaper on your face. That'll fix your problems. Okay, it's like putting a diaper on your head than praying to God. He's like, you just put a diaper on your head. You what the hell? What's your point? All right. Yeah. Thank you, Vincent. That's terrible news, but it is also news that we needed to hear. Yeah, they're trying that in America in certain places, but I don't know what to say. And I used to believe that the United Kingdom, that is Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and jolly old England, that they had a good grasp on reality. That they represented the kind of the foundational intellectual thinking that went into making America, because it did. But it seems like Great Britain, the government has completely abandoned that. And so I laugh, no wonder we left the fucking country, right? Fucking stupid bastards. And then I look at Washington, D.C., and I'm like, holy shit, they made it over here. Dumb bastards. Anyways, yeah, governments everywhere, full of dumb bastards. And bastards they are. Okay, Jolene, who do we have next in the question and answer zone? We got James Nicholson. He says, observation and a question. Is it Tuesday? Yes, it's Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday for James Nicholson. He says, good evening, John. Have you noticed that Dr. Death looks a little like a little troll under the bridge. And the Attorney General, Sir Merrick Garlick Butlick, Attorney General Garlick, looks like he should sit atop a building as a gargoyle. Right? Is this the Merrick Garland? I'm sorry, Dr. Fauci, right? Dr. Fraudska. Yeah, he looks a little like a bridge troll, does he not? Anyways, let's bring up James's final statements here. He says, facial features are awful similar. I'm interested in how you would like the sedan you have been driving at 0 dark 30. Oh, well, just some comments on the lighter side. Well, number one, yeah, these people who are sick in the head, they tend to have they tend to take on facial expressions, body language. Isn't it interesting how politicians and bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. all have similar mannerisms? They're not real fucking humans. Now, when I go to the mountains, mountain men tend to act a certain kind of way. When you go on a military base, military men seem to act a certain way. When you go out in public and you see veterans, veterans tend to act a certain way. We can spot each other. When you go into the swamps, those fucking swamp billies tend to act a certain way. When I meet Pacific Islanders, they tend to act a certain way. And when I meet scumbag, World Economic fudge packer types, they all tend to act a certain kind of way. Interesting, no? Now, with regard to the sedan that I drive, contracting. Once again, I'm a general contractor who is not acting and working as a general contractor, but I am doing contracting. So I was warned years ago, don't get into bodyguard work, John. Don't do it. Anyways, just a little red herring for you. As far as the sedan goes, I spent a lot of time investigating the Princess Diana murder, ritual murder scene. Interesting stuff. And I learned a lot about sedans and cars and how useful they are in transporting important people around. And some cars are better designed for it than others. And so it's really good to know. Interesting. Anyways, the sedan, it feels pretty good to drive a sedan. It's way different than driving my truck. I love to drive the big, giant F-350 type trucks. That's living. That's like driving it's really like driving a lazy boy to me. But driving the sedan, it feels pretty good. It feels tight, when you turn the wheel, it moves and it gets through traffic real good. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I had to really romp on it. And, those things, they're made for what they do and they do what they're made for. So SHTF, I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing. Now, if I had to pick a sedan for SHTF, I would probably choose an Audi Quattro. The reason being it's all-wheel drive. And the Audis have incredible engines in them. Of course, those silly Germans know how to make a good fucking engine. But if you needed to get off-road in a car and all you had was a sedan, I think that would be the car to have. I know that a lot of different manufacturers make all-wheel drives now, but they really grip the road. They move real fast. The pickup truck, the American pickup truck is not the most nimble thing out there. It's not the fastest thing out there. And just like any other vehicle, they can be taken down with a flat tire. And so, the green tank, you shoot the tire, it goes flat. Yeah, I'd be just as fucked as the next person. So there's goods and bads. There's pluses, right? I could, in the green truck, probably run a human being over and just hear the initial bump, thump, and wouldn't feel anything more. If I hit someone in a sedan, it might fuck the car up enough where I couldn't drive any further. So the truck can take more damage, yes, but so there's limitations. Don't think that you have to have an F-350 turbo diesel to get the job done. man might tell you need an F450 or an F650, but there's no telling what you're going to need. It's all very personal. And so for my particular line of work that I'm engaged in, currently the sedan is the vehicle of choice I've been provided with. So again, contracting is what contracting does. Okay, let's move on if we shall. I think we've got another question lined up, and it is militant. He says, if China can hold it together over the next decade, that's going to be the place to be. The U.S. is about done. Now, contained within your two sentences, you made two very loud statements, and both of them are true. The first statement has a qualifier, the word if. When I write the word if, a lot of times I write it 3 times in a row because I want people to understand I'm qualifying the statement. And I'll say if, and I'll capitalize it also. If, right, extra big if. If China can hold it together over the next decade. So what are we discussing here? China has huge monetary issues. They're trying to build something, though, to make that a solid currency, the yuan. What are they doing? Well, China has an incredible amount of gold that they have been buying and continue to buy. And they're pulling gold out of the American market, the COMEX, and they're pulling gold out of the LME, London Metals Exchange. It used to be, there's also the LBMA, the London Bullion Market Association, whatever, right? These places where they got all the gold, these vaults, they're buying it. So if they say, hey, look, we don't just have paper money like the United States. Our money is backed by commodities like gold, silver, rice, whatever the fuck any country has. The monetary system is changing. And if China can hold it together, they're probably going to be the place to be. Except China is a totalitarian piece of shit country. Well, what has Europe become? Literally. You can't say anything, and if you do, it's a hate crime, and you're going to jail. Well, unless you're some foreign scumbag who likes to run around and beat people up and rape women and then say offensive shit, you're allowed to be whatever you are, right? These jackasses. Well, what's America doing? America wants to grow up and be Europe and be just as fucked up and totalitarian. So yeah, your second statement, the U.S. is about done, that's an accurate statement. About done is your qualifier here. It's your caveat expressione. I like English. I like philosophy. The U.S. is done. That would be a final statement. The U.S. is about done. It qualifies the statement, meaning not yet. There's a lot of fighting yet to do. And that is why I'm right here in this seat. America is about done unless we step up and get prepared up here. Like I said, I've been meeting and seeing and waving, saluting, pointing to the sticker, Marines everywhere. They're waking up, folks. The veterans in this country have had it. We may not be as young as we once were. Our vision may not be as good, but I can see some things a lot more clearly. Shit has hit the fan. I'm ready. I don't like it. I don't think it's going to be fun. It certainly won't cute. And I'm going to tell you what, it's going to stink. The moment you smell a dead, rotting body, folks, you'll know you're in bad place. That's the only thing we're missing at this point. All right. I've got a lot of topics to go, but we're out of time. If we've got a real quick one here from Jolene, or if she says all done, we'll be all done. Sometimes the questions are so thank you, Jolene. Sometimes the questions are so big that she just won't let one come at the end of the show because that'll take us into the land of Oz, right? Way out there. Anyways, before I part ways, I want to say this one last thing. This is an interesting coincidence. Do you believe in coincidences? Do you believe in the fucking tooth fairy? Do you believe that the Three Stooges entertain God Almighty every night at dinner? Well, if you believe in coincidences, then you'll believe that this is no big deal. That Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company, gave $1 million to the Kentucky Republicans to expand its headquarters, the Mitch McConnell building. That's right, folks. Speaking of stooges, do you think Mitch McConnell is working for Pfizer's money? Oh, yeah, folks. Big Pharma is going to continue to throw money. Big drug. The drug. Tell you what, get prepared, folks. Oh, I went out and checked in a store the other day. Cold medicines off the shelf, right? I was like, I'm going to get some of that stuff. And I was like, people are buying the fuck out of cold medicines, even in the South. Where is it all? Are they going to stop manufacturing it? Hey, get prepared. Food, water, shelter clothing, medicine. Doesn't mean just prescription drugs, folks, but over-the-counter drugs. Make sure you have a good supply in case shit gets worse. And, of course, always have your self-defense. Semper Fi, Godspeed. And away we